Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more Los Angeles Lakers news, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. The surprises continue in the NBA, and the fifth pick of the first round, the young and already star Ace Bailey, did not want to be drafted by the Utah Jazz, and this could lead to him being traded. The Lakers are interested in the excellent player who was listed as the third pick and fell to the fifth pick, but he is very promising and would fit perfectly with Luka Doncic on the Lakers. Ace Bailey could be traded by the Utah Jazz and go play alongside LeBron James and Luka Doncic on the Los Angeles Lakers. If manager Rob Pelinka manages to pull off this deal, he will once again be the great hero of free agency. Ace Bailey turned down top 5 NBA draft team. Jazz forward continues to generate controversy after 2025 draft. Ace Bailey has been in controversy before the 2025 NBA draft for not having trained with any franchise. On the first night of the draft, he ended up being selected by the Utah Jazz, in 5th overall position. However, according to ESPN's Jonathan Givony, the player would have turned down a team that was among the top 5 picks. Also, according to the journalist, Ace Bailey's representatives contacted this team so that they would not select him in the NBA draft. The conversation would have happened one night before the event. However, the team was not revealed. In addition, his agent, Omar Cooper, rejected any controversy about the forward's behavior before the draft. Every NBA team watched him train in Chicago. He gave 18 interviews. They all did his medical exam. They saw him run and jump. They took his measurements. So, there is nothing unusual in the way Ace Bailey's pre-selection process was conducted, he stated. On the other hand, according to ESPN, Cooper refused to talk about Bailey's future with the Jazz. In fact, the network also revealed that the player had a preferred franchise to recruit him. Lakers named favorites to land Ace Bailey after Jazz news. In a bit of a shocking move, the Utah Jazz selected Rutgers forward Ace Bailey with the 5th overall pick in the 2025 NBA draft. Bailey reportedly declined a workout with the Jazz prior to the draft, making the team's choice to select him a confusing one. Furthermore, according to recent reports, Bailey is having second thoughts about reporting to the Jazz and reportedly did not fly out to Utah following the draft. Reports surfaced that Ace Bailey is having second thoughts about reporting to the Jazz, which has forced the organization to address the situation. The Rutgers product was clearly and visibly not happy being selected by Utah. Following the latest news surrounding Bailey's status with the Jazz, in another surprising turn, the Los Angeles Lakers, plus 235, have been named the favorites to land the 18-year-old if Utah opts to move him. If Los Angeles were to trade for Bailey, that would add a lot of intrigue to the team. This offseason, the Lakers will look to bolster their roster and build around star Luka Doncic, whose first full year with the team will be next season. Pairing Doncic with a potential young star in Bailey would be exciting. Additionally, LeBron James has yet to make a decision on his $52.6 million player option this offseason. If he chooses to return to the Lakers, and if they were to acquire Bailey, the team would likely inch even closer to legitimate title contention. Nothing is official yet, but Bailey's status in Utah will be worth monitoring this summer. If the Jazz decide to trade him, there will likely be a few teams interested in his services, and that may include the Lakers at the top of the list. Lakers sign All-American scorer to training camp deal immediately after NBA draft. Despite being without a first-round pick, the 2025 NBA draft was an exciting time for the Los Angeles Lakers. General manager Rob Pelinka traded up twice from number 55, using cash to achieve that goal before ultimately drafting Arkansas's Adou Thiero at number 36. The Lakers have since made some post-draft moves, and the latest, according to NBA insider Dave McMenamin, is signing North Carolina guard R.J. Davis on an Exhibit 10 deal. The deal essentially gives Davis a spot in summer training camp and little else. It is simply a chance to bring the guard into the building and evaluate if there is a potential fit there. Many times, similar deals are used as filler to help with summer league and training camps, having extra options for teams dealing with injuries or wanting to protect their veteran stars. With this in mind, it is going to be a difficult road for Davis to be able to actually stick around in LA. Undrafted Lakers rookie RJ Davis unlikely to stick in LA. Watching Davis, it is clear that there is a great scoring ability and a love to attack the basket. He averaged 15.6 points on .418/.367/.861 splits in his 5 seasons with the Tar Heels, which included first-team All-American honors in 2023-24. However, his talents work both for and against the undersized guard. At times, Davis will take shots when an obvious pass is presented. The young scorer hasn't met a shot he doesn't like, which did hurt the North Carolina offense at times when his decision ended up being the wrong one. Still, it is an interesting wild card to bring into camp, understanding where the Lakers are currently. The team is desperate to find cheap depth as it remains one of the cheaper big-market teams. Despite adding Luka Doncic and hoping to retain LeBron James, this is a team that lacks depth and secondary scoring options. Those shortcomings were exposed in the series against the Minnesota Timberwolves and continue to be an area of needed improvement. While Davis is unlikely to improve this issue, it is at least bringing the aggressive scorer into camp and seeing if any progress can be made. If there is impressive development in that time, you can opt to retain the undersized guard in the lower levels. Having Davis in the NBA G League makes sense if there is any belief that the guard can learn to adjust his shots. Even if this happens, there is the remaining concern of Davis being a defensive liability. Still, it is a noteworthy signing that gives the Lakers a chance to find a surprise scoring source for South Bay. LeBron James expected to opt out, ink massive new contract with Lakers. LeBron James is on the cusp of his 23rd NBA season and shows no signs of slowing down or imminent retirement. James earned second-team All-NBA honors in 2024-25 and will turn 41 years old in December. He controls his future in LA with 1 year remaining on his contract, which includes a player option for the 2025-26 campaign and a no-trade clause. The Lakers are looking to reconstruct the roster to suit Luka Doncic moving forward, which will begin with adding a two-way center who can ideally defend the rim, serve as a lob threat and shoot well enough to space the floor on offense, though finding all three in one player on the current budget could prove difficult. Austin Reaves declined an $89 million max extension from LA on Thursday, June 26, opting instead to wait until next summer when he can forego the final year on his current $54 million deal and enter unrestricted free agency, at which point other teams can make him offers and the Lakers can pay him considerably more based on league rules. Doncic has the option to extend for either 3 or 4 years in August, and may choose the former, assuming he extends at all, which is less money now but will allow him to earn a bigger percentage of a larger salary cap figure as a supermax player with 10 years of NBA service 3 summers down the road. That leaves James and his future for LA to consider. Athlon Sports NBA insider Mark Medina predicted on Friday that James will ink a new deal with Los Angeles this offseason that will mirror the contract he's on now, a 1+1 that affords him optionality next summer and is likely to cost the Lakers a pretty penny. James will end his storied NBA career with the Lakers, Medina wrote. I don't think James will announce when he will retire simply because he doesn't know when he wants it to end. Therefore, James will opt out of his $52.6 million player option. He will then sign a 1+1 deal so he has time before committing beyond the 2025-26 campaign. Don't expect James to take a discount. Rob Pelinka says Lakers had first-round grade on Adou Thiero. Given that the Lakers thought of Adou Thiero as a first-round player, it makes sense they jumped up to select him at number 36 in the NBA draft. Los Angeles didn't have a first-round pick in the 2025 NBA draft, but they did find a prospect in the second round that they had high on their draft board. The Lakers moved up from the number 55 pick to the number 45 pick, then traded with the Bulls to select Adou Thiero from Arkansas at number 36. The selection of Thiero received good grades from draft experts, given his high level of athleticism and the growth he's had as a player throughout his collegiate career. Once the draft process was over, President of Basketball Operations Rob Pelinka made a TV appearance on Spectrum Sportsnet and mentioned that they had Thiero graded as a first-round player. Adou was projected by our scouts as a first-round talent, and so we were able to turn pick number 55, which is a late second-round pick, to a high second-round pick, to pick a player that we had projected in the first round. So, it's almost like having the first-round pick that we traded out. Tons of credit, thankful for the support of Genie to allow us to be aggressive and use resources to win at the margins, move up in the draft, and get a player that we really think is going to dimensionalize our roster. We just felt like one of the things we needed to address is to get younger and more athletic on the wings, and being able to get a player like Adu that can catch lobs from the corner when Luka is making paint decisions I think is going to be really special. Then he's just big shoulders, big chest, a guy that's going to play defense and add some physicality and athleticism to our roster. Super excited about that. The Lakers' words matched their actions when it came to Thiero. They didn't just hope that he would fall into their hands. Instead, they traded twice on the day of the draft to ensure they'd get the player they wanted. This was an aggressive move by Los Angeles. If it works out, they might have gotten the steal of the 2025 NBA draft by selecting someone on the second day who should have been picked on the first. On film, Thiero's explosiveness jumps off the screen. The dunks he was pulling off in college were mind-boggling. The moment he steps onto the Lakers' practice facility, he will be one of the most athletic players on the roster. Pelinka also shared another interesting tidbit on the process of drafting Thiero on Spectrum Sportsnet, saying he and Lakers head coach J.J. Redick had lunch with their new rookie a couple of weeks ago. J.J. Redick and I actually hosted him in our building a couple of weeks ago, took him to lunch, and really got to know his character. That's such an important part of the equation, and he's just a great young man and hungry to get better and learn and grow, and we feel like we have a great player development staff here. Super excited about all that. It's ideal when management and coaching are on the same page with the players they are drafting. It certainly seems that the key people in the Lakers organization were on board with adding Thiero, and the process was a well-thought-out one. The Lakers scouts did their job, and ownership provided the resources to benefit from that work. Now they get to reap the rewards as Thiero begins his career as a Laker. If the organization got it right, Thiero will serve as another example of the Lakers being a step ahead of the rest of the league when it comes to finding quality players that fall during the NBA draft. Lakers just added the next OG Anunoby if upside comparisons prove true. Adu Thiero keeps garnering OG Anunoby comparisons. The Los Angeles Lakers have invested heavily in the potential of second-round draft pick Adu Thiero. Los Angeles completed 2 separate trades, each time including cash considerations, to go from number 55 overall to number 36 and thus add Thiero. If an ambitious upside comparison from Rob Pelinka rings true, then the Lakers just added the next OG Anunoby. Thiero was compared to a number of intriguing names in the build-up to the 2025 NBA draft. The Ringer highlighted similarities between Thiero and breakout Portland Trail Blazers forward Toumani Camara, and Kevin O'Connor of Yahoo Sports made the connection to Jay Crowder. Both outcomes would be ideal for the Lakers, but general manager Rob Pelinka seems to have a different upside comparison in mind, OG Anunoby. In case you're wondering if that's a reach, it's worth noting that Thiero himself said that he patterns his defensive game after Anunoby and all-defense mainstay Jrue Holiday. Whether or not Thiero lives up to the Anunoby hype, the fact that it's even considered a possibility is telling of how promising his potential is. Rob Pelinka compares Lakers draft pick Adu Thiero to OG Anunoby. Anunoby and Thiero have remarkably similar stories as prospects. They both captivated the masses with their powerful frames, explosive athleticism, defensive acumen, and uncanny ability to make highlight reel plays on both ends of the floor. Unfortunately, they also endured injuries during their respective collegiate careers that caused some to question how safe an upside pick could be. That resulted in Anunoby sliding to number 23 overall in the 2017 NBA draft and Thiero falling all the way to number 36 in 2025. Anunoby landed in an ideal situation with the Toronto Raptors, and Thiero has now done the same with the Lakers. Both players faced significant expectations despite their draft position, but they also landed with organizations that were ideally equipped to facilitate their development. The primary question facing Thiero is whether or not he can follow in Anunoby's footsteps by developing into an efficient and reliable jump shooter. If that transpires, then the Lakers would have a chance to help him become one of the best 3-and-D wings in the NBA. As Anunoby has shown during his New York Knicks career, there's also untapped potential as a shot creator to consider. Regardless of how close Thiero comes to the level Anunoby has reached, it's a testament to his talent and defensive consistency that this comparison has been made. It's not just a matter of a powerful physique, a long wingspan, and explosive athleticism, but also a reflection of how hard he plays every time out. Joining a team that already has a franchise player in Luka Doncic, Thiero will have a chance to prove that even ambitious upside comparisons are fair game due to the impact he's capable of making.